the process.
All right, we're live. What's up, everybody? Wednesday night time for YATS every week, usually. YetAnotherTechShow.com. Check it out. Oh, I should mention, I'm probably going to be gone one of these Wednesdays. I think it's the next one, but I'm not sure. I'll let you guys know.
Oh, joy.
Yeah. Going to another concert.
That's a scary thought.
It's going to be a good one. I'm excited for this one, actually. I didn't really care about Tech 9 until, like, it was fun, but this one, like, I wanted to do this.
Is it far away or where?
No, it's like 120 miles there. It's in Missoula. Missoula. All right. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Wednesday, June 4th, 2014. This is episode 98 of YATS. Every week, Wednesday night, right here, YetAnotherTechShow.com. Check it out. I'm Ant Lee. That guy right there, that's Ant Pruitt. What's up, Ant?
Hey, what's going on, Mr. Lee?
We got Larry Press in the office. What's up, Larry?
Howdy, guys. I'm in Boulder, Colorado.
Larry Press in a closet in Colorado. Nick Carroll also.
You know, this is a boardroom, they tell me.
Oh, there we go.
Nice.
That's great. Hey, doing pretty good here. Still in Texas, y'all.
Nice.
Yeah.
I feel like Nick should start wearing a cowboy hat for some reason.
I knew I forgot something.
Right? Get that. Let's see, Ant, start us off with some sports/tech news. Another tech, I wouldn't say giant. Well, I would say he's a pretty big tech guy, right?
Yeah, he's a
Ballmer?
big tech guy. You know, some people may have heard of him from this company called Microsoft at one point in time.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, he was the former CEO, good buddy of Bill Gates, of course. The kicker is, being the former CEO, he's like one of the largest shareholders of Microsoft, so he's got just gobs of money sitting around now since his departure. And for those of you that actually know squat about the NBA, Donald Sterling is the owner of the LA Clippers, who has had some racial slurs and comments dragged across his name here.
A series of unfortunate missteps, essentially.
Yeah.
Lots of them.
Yeah.
Some might almost say a conspiracy.
I mean, it's been going on. This hasn't just happened the last month either. This has been going on for a couple of decades now. With this guy. You know, to each his own. If he thinks what he thinks, whatever. But it's come to the point where the NBA banned him, essentially, and the league is wanting him to sell the team. Now, Steve Ballmer bid $2 billion for this team, and
Two Instagrams for the Clippers?
$1 billion. You know,
Damn.
it's for me. I find the problem with this guy getting $2 billion at the end of the day, with all of this said and done. You know, but
Is that how it's gonna work though? Like, is it like Steve Ballmer's like counting out $2 billion? He's like, well, here you go, Sterling. Here's your money, and he's like, well, here's your bill of sale for one LA Clippers team.
that's pretty much how it's going to go down.
Really?
Now, yeah,
Wow.
he also got out of suing the NBA as well, because he had a grievance with the NBA for being forced to sell the team and all of that good stuff. It's a bunch of bull, but just the fact that Steve Ballmer got his name in the hat, I thought it was comical myself. I could see him being a sports fan. I don't know about him running a sports team.
There have been a number of clips that had surfaced on the net of him being like a rabid sports fan and playing basketball and stuff like that. So it's like, hey, interesting timing for that video to surface. But okay, yeah.
But does the owner do much running of the team? I mean, I feel like the owner just sits back and like collects money, counts his.
They're there to count all the money and spend it. Really.
Somebody's got to count the money and then spend it, right?
Well, there are times when the owner has to make that hard decision of firing the general manager and firing the head coach. You know,
some of the owners are actively involved, like Jerry Buss was.
Buss was, and of course we know about Mark Cuban for the Dallas Mavericks of Yahoo fame. Another
He was
tech guy.
also on Shark Tank. So you're telling me is Steve Ballmer's next stop could be Shark Tank?
It could be Shark Tank.
Which I watch Shark Tank. I would find that rather amusing.
I might actually watch that show for that.
I would watch. I don't currently watch, but I would watch for that.
My wife already watches the show, but I would be converted then.
It's going to be interesting and somewhat cool to see, because now you have that would be at least three tech prominent people in professional sports ownership, because the Seattle Seahawks and the former Seattle Supersonics was under Paul, what's his name from Microsoft, Paul Allen.
Yeah, he's co-founder. All we need now is for Bill Gates to buy it.
Yeah, Bill Gates is probably going to swing in now and get the Denver Broncos or something.
Probably a Seattle team.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Good luck, Bomber.
Is that? I don't know. I guess that's like the cycle that it takes. Like you do something that makes a bunch of money, and then you buy a sports team.
You try to go buy a sports team. For us regular common folk, when we get money, we go out and try to build restaurants and bars.
We buy TV.
Buy a new laptop.
Yeah.
But
how much did Sterling pay for the Clippers? Do you know?
That I don't know.
I think very, very, very little.
Yeah, I'm sure it's probably like 200, 300 million back then, something crazy like that, if that much, because that's been a struggling franchise for a long time.
$12.5 million back in 81.
Oh, okay, 81 though.
In
That
81,
franchise has been a mess. There was even a time where the players were saying, "Hey, now it's cool to be a Clipper." That's how bad it's been for that franchise over the many decades.
well, I hope he can turn stuff around for them.
I'm just waiting on the next photo bomb of him being in the stadium with the fans, turning up beers and yelling, and
Just going to ramble around.
He's banned from attending games.
Oh no! I mean, as in Ballmer, not Sterling. I ain't give a crap about Sterling.
I thought you were talking about Sterling, like he would just go there and like start throwing bottles or some shit.
Oh no! He's
Rabble
banned.
rousing. Did we want to talk about any of that net neutrality stuff that came out, or are we over that? I didn't put any in the rundown because I figured we were all over it, but
I'm over it.
I just put I did a few blog posts on it this week, and I just put a couple of images in the rundown.
Yeah. My concern is that it's going to happen one way or the other. So, anyways, go on.
Well, just if you guys look at the rundown, maybe you can pop it up on the screen. The most damning one is just this cool thing of what happened to Comcast. Excuse me. What happened to Netflix speed on Comcast during the negotiations, and what happened to it as soon as the negotiations were closed. I don't know if you can see it, but basically for about 3 months before the deal was struck, their service consistently deteriorated, and then it improved radically just at the end of February and during March after the deal was closed.
So Larry,
and it's really, really clear that those guys were like blackmailing Netflix and screwing their users.
well, that's what I was going to ask. Is that just coincidence, or is that we're going to give ourselves some negotiating upper hand and say, your speed's kind of down here right now. It could be up here.
Gee, what do you think, Matt?
I'm guessing.
What do you think the answer to that question? No, listen. Comcast could say maybe, oh yeah, it wasn't our fault. It was upstream. But then let's see them provide the data. They would be able to provide that data if that were the case. No, it seems to me it's an obvious case of just blackmail, basically. And no, I've really gone crazy. What the thing that have been saying for quite a while, and it still seems true. The real question is, who is going to invest in our infrastructure in the United States? We're falling rapidly behind. And you can see by that improvement in Comcast speed how quickly, how simply it was to add the capacity to make the bottleneck go away. And if the ISPs won't invest, it seems, I don't know, I can only come to the conclusion there is no ISP competition, and I can only come to the conclusion that it's got to be government at all levels.
Well, the issue here
I've done like 3 or 4 blog posts about that this week, so I'm kind of full of it right now.
Well, the issue here, and the reason why you're seeing like the speeds drop rapidly for Netflix, is you're seeing Comcast essentially route traffic within their network over congested links, basically limiting the performance that Netflix can get in trying to serve their customers. So the video streams to go from Netflix, which directly connects to Comcast, through Comcast network, through that last mile to the end user. Comcast controls all that, and so what they've been doing the last several months is essentially restricting that flow, and thus forcing Netflix to pay additionally, not just for the connection, but additionally for that traffic that flows through. And then magically, without infrastructure changes, all of a sudden speeds increase for Netflix. So that's the issue.
Maybe they added some infrastructure. Maybe there was some investment that last week of November after the deal was done. Because the thing improved markedly, or improved even during November, even though they had only 1 week after the agreement. And I would be really curious to know, as a taxpayer, and I think the FCC and the FTC would be interested to know, how much did it really cost them to make that miraculous improvement? My guess is the investment is relatively small.
Well, the problem is the FCC, in my opinion, doesn't really seem to care. I mean, you have the FCC actually proposing the dual path, the fast lane and the slow lane. They're the ones actually pushing for that idea and saying, oh, there's no slow internet, there's no fast internet, there's just one internet. By the way, we're going to have multiple lanes. What? So it's the FCC proposing this stuff. So that's why I'm really pessimistic about change actually coming about by anything the FCC wants to do.
Okay, let me make you a teeny, I'm not optimistic, but one good sign. I saw, because I saw the other night, what's the guy's name? John Oliver. He does a comedy news show on HBO once a week. It's sort of like the week of news.
From the Jon Stewart show, right?
Exactly, kind of a British guy. Okay, listen, you guys, you really have to go. I've got a link to it. I can put a link in the show notes. And watch the video, the segment he did on this whole state of the internet and Comcast and net neutrality. It's the funniest thing I ever heard. And at the end, the audience was going apeshit. Yeah. And it seems to me that if it can get beyond guys like us and people sort of in the industry and get out to the general public and become a real political issue, something might happen.
Yeah.
All right.
The best video I've ever seen on this whole net neutrality issue, and you should go look at it. Tell everybody to go look at it. I'll put a link in the show notes.
We got a link to it in our chat, and it's and I think the headline. What's this headline say? FCC comment system blew up after everybody watched it. So
that's right.
He did something.
At the end, he does this really funny rap. He says, "I can't believe I'm doing this, but I want to talk to you comment trolls." Okay, you got to really get in there and do it. And he gave examples of some of the troll comments that had come out his way.
It was
and
like
at the end, the audience was going apeshit. They were just cheering like crazy.
1.9 million views.
They crashed that. They crashed it. Didn't they crash the site?
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you guys seen it?
Yeah, totally.
I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to put it in.
You got to go see it, man. It's terrific.
I've got it in my queue, but I haven't watched it yet.
I shared it on Google Plus right after I watched it because it was so good.
Yeah, I'm acutely aware.
You know the thing that surprised me too? It's on YouTube. How come they? I thought it would have been taken down.
I watched it on YouTube on the Chromecast on the TV. It was awesome.
But they evidently don't plan to take it down. I was afraid it was sort of pirated and somebody would take it down right away. But
I mean, this isn't just a this just isn't affect the thing that we need to get to the mainstream public, because this isn't just affecting their ability to get Netflix. It affects their ability to get YouTube, other streaming media. I believe our Hangouts have been affected to some extent because we all have good internet connections. Yet magically, we've been having a lot of latency issues with Hangouts, for example, and we shouldn't. It's just a low-quality stream, but it affects everything, and so that's the issue here. So.
I like how the there was a spokeswoman, and she said, it is unclear if the high volume was directly related to the John Oliver segment. Like, just taunting? Like, oh, was that you guys? We didn't notice.
Right. let us hit you again, then. Thanks.
Yeah, we'll try another skit. I mean, it's almost like a DOS attack in the sense that you have so many millions of people all at once.
It is, right? It's like when Twit mentions a link on their show, and if their site's not straight, like, it goes down. It's basically, in essence, a DDoS. Yeah. And I love that he encouraged it and just, like, went at it and was like he made himself sound like he was a person of the internet. Like, he knew what was going on. He's like, you guys waited your whole lives for this. Like, let's see it. It was good. It was tactful. I like it.
And didn't it seem like something that
Did you guys see what was this?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you break it down for the general public, you have to make it as non-technical as possible so they can get it. So yeah.
What was this other article you put in, Ant, about Netflix and Verizon getting into a little squabble, little tussle, maybe? Just a little.
I think this is Netflix saying, you know what, screw y'all. It's not our fault. It is the provider's fault. That when you're watching Orange is the New Black on Friday, the second season, and it goes to buffering, it's not our fault. It's Verizon's fault. It's Uverse's fault. It's Comcast's fault. Yeah. And so what they're doing is putting a message on your screen that says, hold on, so-and-so's network is jacked up right now. Please stand by.
I love that. Call them out, right? It could have been anybody that just happened to get as big as Netflix did using this infrastructure. Like, it's not the company's fault that made it big. That's, you should have better infrastructure. And I like that they're calling them out on it. Yeah, especially for what everyone pays for this. I mean, if it was free internet, I would understand. Okay, some degradation here and there. But we pay like $80, $100, $120 a month for this.
Yeah. Some people pay a lot of money for it, because it's part of their businesses and things like that. So you expect the quality to be there. Yep. But there's always going to be that key holder, someone like the CDNs and so forth, that's going to want a bigger piece of the pie.
It's not just Netflix. Google has also started publishing data on speeds.
Everyone should.
They started it about a week ago. I can put a link to that in the show notes too. And even people like does it. It's just the data needs to be gotten out.
Yep.
This is like the next generation of SOPA. It's another internet, issue that the government seems to not really give two bleeps about. And yeah, so I don't know.
But if things like that, John Oliver can get the general public riled up, then the government will pay attention, I think. One of the things he showed was a picture of the head of Comcast and Obama playing golf together.
Yeah, that was good. Christmas. That was really good.
Wow, I didn't see that either.
Yeah.
The video.
You gotta watch this thing, Ant. It's really cool.
Yeah. Definitely. Verizon spokesman Bob Ellick, he said that this seems misleading and could confuse people. Yeah. A PR stunt, he said.
But it's true. That's the thing. He can't call it false. He can only call it a PR stunt. So.
Seems misleading and could confuse people. Hey, if anyone's gonna confuse people, it's gonna be us. All right, Netflix, back off.
Yeah, that's
I call that deflection, basically.
Yeah.
There's one slightly good thing you can say about Verizon is that of all the ISP services, they do this. University Mission does a consumer satisfaction survey, and Verizon Fios People are much more satisfied with it than anything else. The lowest rated two companies out of 230 companies in the whole world of the United States is Comcast and Time Warner Cable. Merger partners.
Yep.
Shit.
Great.
But Fios, I don't know who can get Fios. I think they surely quit rolling it out in LA. But I guess people that have it are satisfied with it.
I think.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, I think like the more well-off people in each community should all just get together, get some fiber in there, and do their own ISP, and just say, we don't need you guys, just as like a little giving back to the community. I don't want to sound like communism, but I think that would help.
That's not going to happen, but the cities can do it. And the FCC, that guy Wheeler, has said that he wants to get rid of the bans on municipal networks that our buddies like Comcast have pushed through so many state legislatures. It's an ugly thing.
Ugly, ugly. Things like this, though, might help. I like this. Google also investing in some satellite swarms. They have their balloons, they have their drones, and now some satellites.
Do you guys remember Teledesic? Microsoft's attempt at that many years ago?
No, I never heard of it.
Tell us.
They're going to do satellites, each one with a router in it, and it didn't work. But the technology's changed a lot more.
And this is all satellite-based and similar to how the old satellite companies used to try to.
No, it's not like the satellite stuff that at least the Microsoft one, Teledesic. It was a constellation. It was many satellites, and they're in low Earth orbit. They're not geosynchronous, high up in the air with a lot of latency satellites. And
yeah,
the idea was
at least 180 small orbiters flying at lower altitudes than most of the satellites and delivering high data capacity services. They say the cost estimates by certain people familiar with the project between 1 and 3 Instagrams, depending on how it works. So
Microsoft tried that. Geez, I want to say in the 1990s. And they ended up deciding it wasn't feasible and abandoning it.
Microsoft did have Greg Weiler, founder of O3 Networks, a satellite communications company.
So, Matt, I didn't hear this. Google is talking about doing such a system?
This is Google. They got Greg Wheeler, and they're doing it. They're doing it right now.
Dynamite. I love it.
Most high-bandwidth satellites operate in geostationary orbits, except these won't. It says the startup must place more satellites into lower orbits in order to achieve the same geographical coverage, but it'll cut the time for round-trip data delays from an average of 638 milliseconds to less than 150. And I bet 150 probably about as good as any of us are getting right now anyway.
You think?
No,
I'm thinking like 200, 220.
Really?
Ping me. Where are we at right now?
That's out in the sticks, man.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool. I definitely would like to see something like this, especially if, like you said, you can get the bandwidth going better than what it was, If
I was it'll cut latency. It's much less latency than the geostationary satellites.
Yeah, if they can do it, definitely. Google would.
Yeah.
And then
I'll dig up a link to the old Teledesic thing that Microsoft tried to for historical purposes.
I've never heard of that. I'd like to see a little more on it. But then again, Larry, with them as in Microsoft giving up on it back in the 90s.
Yeah, this was long ago, and they did. Actually, it was as I recall, it was actually a Bill Gates project as opposed to a Microsoft project. And one of those Middle Eastern chief types was also an investor. I don't remember from which country.
Yeah.
And it was. And I was, I've been really involved with developing nations, and geez, I was so enthusiastic about that. But it obviously turned out not to be feasible. But this is really, I think, in the mid or late 90s, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, see,
and since then, electronic technologies improved, and launch technologies improved. This is the kind of thing that what's his name, Elon Musk, could get involved in. Putting the things up. So this is really this makes more sense to me than Project Loon, to tell you the truth.
But it's not a matter. It's not just one or the other, right? You have to take you have to take the balloon, take the drones and the satellites, and cover the globe in high speed.
Yeah, but this is really important in developing nations. If this can happen, that'd be really cool. I really want to.
And that's what it said, right? They want to reach internet to the other 3 billion people on the planet that don't have it.
Yeah.
Which obviously, as an internet company, probably in their best interest. So.
Of course.
And if the rest of us can say F the ISPs we have now as a fallout of that, then hey, 2 birds, 1 stone. I like it.
Hey man, that fiber link to your house will always be a better deal.
Yeah. That's how it goes when you live in the mountains, I guess. Small price to pay for such security.
No, but you have cable or DSL?
I got cable, but I also am right across the street from a giant trailer park that also probably has cable. So, sorry. District 9. All right, Sprint and T-Mobile merging. Is this going to happen now? They were the next in line, right? Because AT&T couldn't. So, do you think this will go through, Nick? What do you think?
I actually think it will go through, but I mean I could be wrong. But the way corporations have been merging so frequently and consistently, this wouldn't surprise me. I was actually surprised the AT&T Sprint thing didn't happen, but I think this will happen. It looks like Sprint's going to purchase T-Mobile for $32 billion, which is quite a bit, and that would put them as kind of a somewhat close third place to Verizon and AT&T in terms of total number of customers. And the interesting thing about that is the sheer amount of bandwidth that they'll have in all the markets that they can sort of share. So that'll help them catch up in terms of like coverage and reliability and speed. So we'll see how that goes.
I don't understand how this could work with those two. It's 2 different bands, right?
Yeah. Well, they would have to design phones that can reuse all those, use all those bands. So.
No, I mean both of them really needs help from a financial standpoint and mind share standpoint.
The thing that concerns me is I'm not sure who would necessarily take the reins. If John Legere would still stick around, because he seems to be pushing a lot of change that's actually helped to turn T-Mobile around over the last year and a half.
Yeah, is that other guy? Is it Dan Hesse that's still at Sprint?
Sprint. Yeah, that's correct.
Isn't Sprint owned by a Japanese company or not?
Yes. And I think that's why this will actually go through, because it's owned by a company outside of the U.S. So I don't think the U.S. can necessarily stop that.
I don't know. They both need help, man. They do. T-Mobile services, from the experiences that I have with it, it's just been totally hit or miss, and the same goes for Sprint. But everybody that I know is on those 2 carriers, they always talk about one thing. They're saving so much money per month on wireless services, so they'll take that little bit of a hiccup in call quality because they'd rather just text anyway,
Yeah, I use a Sprint MVNO, and it's fine in Los Angeles and Southern California. I don't know about the rest of the country.
All right. Yeah, I've goofed around with Sprint years ago. Used to be a Sprint customer, and I battled with it. Anytime I went outside of a metropolitan area, not happening. Period. With Verizon, I don't have that issue.
Yeah, that's
Verizon
weird.
has me by the balls, actually.
But you're paying for it, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, my wife uses a Sprint MVNO as well. It's Virgin Mobile down here in Texas, and she's also the only issue I've had with reaching out to her is that a lot of times I'll send text messages and she won't get it, or she'll get it hours later. So that's kind of annoying. And sometimes she just can't get a phone call if she's out of the area of coverage that Sprint has. So I do, and I personally use an AT&T phone, and I have much better coverage than her. So I would hope that a T-Mobile Sprint merger, if it does occur, would improve, that sort of accessibility to people on those networks.
Yeah, we need our communications reliable. We can't be having convenient excuses like, sorry, honey, I didn't get the message.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's only going to last for so long.
Start looking at timestamps. All right, let's talk about Intel wanting to eliminate. Article on Boy Genius. I don't know if this is like what Intel said or what they're saying, but they want to get rid of all PC cables in 2 years. 2 years. What do you think? Can we? Is that even possible? Have you seen the inside of a PC lately?
Yeah, how long will it take for people to actually buy all the products that have this? I'm skeptical.
Yeah.
So.
It's kind of interesting, though. They say they're working on next-gen wireless charging platform for PCs that could eliminate the need for cables. But that's just like one cable, like your power. You still need SATA cables and stuff, or are they talking we can do data and everything through this?
Well, I don't know if you remember, Matt, but damn near 20 years ago, that Cupertino computer company said the same thing.
Yeah.
And we now have the iMac. They wanted to.
True.
They didn't want to do.
But they also have a docking system that will let you beam your screen to other screens. But that's when I see headlines like this, I'm like, cool. Everything like inside, like the board to the hard drive is communicating wirelessly, right? Like all of that. You're not eliminating all cables, are you? You're eliminating like 2, maybe.
But that's an improvement, though.
I guess.
That's an improvement.
It's got to be all
put
or
it past
none. You can't just eliminate a couple. It's got to be all or none. Otherwise, what's the point?
You already lose wireless You already lose the wires from keyboards and mice.
Yeah, that you
video is going to be
have to put batteries into. Those are the worst.
No, they're not.
Got to be plugged in.
I want to say 2 battery chargers around here somewhere. It's not that damn hard. Batteries go down. I already got some charged up and ready to go. Months later. How much are you using your mouse?
Every day.
Yeah, I'm all for more wireless, and wireless charging does sound interesting, but like long distance wireless charging, that sounds kind of cool. But we'll see how that goes.
I can see it being cool for like laptops and stuff, I guess. But still, like, are you docking that much? I don't know. Seems like a dumb thing. Intel, I'm gonna just say this is dumb. Make something better.
I'm gonna disagree with you.
You like this?
I like the idea that somebody's trying to do something innovative here.
It's not innovative.
It is.
It's like
if they pull this off where we don't have any wires, that's innovative, dude. If they pull this off where we can still have beautiful displays and beautiful graphics on these displays without any extra wiring, that's pretty big.
There's still wires to it.
Okay, if you can make it hidden, that's innovative. Damn it.
That's an iMac then, dude. It's an all-in-one.
Yeah, it's an all-in-one.
Again,
I'll agree with Ant that it's the next step.
Mm-hmm.
I'll agree with him that it's the next step, and it's likely going to happen at some point. Just how quickly, I just don't see it adopting instantly or overnight. It'll be 2 years for it to start rolling out, but another 2 years for anyone to really start using it. So yeah, you have to make the chargers, affordable for people to get, and you have to make sure that the devices that have the other end of the charging technology and the notebooks or tablets, etc., that they're inexpensive enough for people to actually buy. It took a while for Ultrabooks to really become, popular, and and it costs more to make those.
What about my mic? I know that the MacBook Pros supposedly have the nice noise canceling mics on them and whatnot. Yeah. But are these microphones in most computers as good as our condenser microphones?
No.
Of course not. I know that was a rhetorical question.
Yes,
but
you got me on that one.
But can you give me that kind of quality wirelessly?
Well, and they
on a
do wireless
computer.
mics, right? At like,
Yeah, I know they do wireless mics, but can you
And
do it on a computer?
they're like
at a price.
$800. They're like 800. Yeah.
Yeah, at a price. So
Yeah.
we'll see, man. It's going to take some time.
Yeah, for sure. It's iterative. I just like it when people make big deals about that stuff. Like this. Also, speaking of ridiculous big deals, is Amazon doing a 3D smartphone? Let's hope not, because that's the dumbest idea ever, Amazon.
Yeah, I don't think they got the memo. 3D was a fad, and it didn't work out very well. We've moved on past it, but we'll see.
And of course, it's just hype and speculation building up to they're having a June 18th launch event. So this is kind of the beginning of like, ooh, is it going to be this? Is it going to be that? I'll say 3D smartphone. Okay, well, let's hope you're wrong.
Well, I saw that video from the link that we have in the rundown. It seems interesting, like they're looking at some sort of tablet or phone or some sort of device where it's like they're looking around, oh, wow, I've never seen this before. And, you know, it's probably going to be some sort of like parallax effect, you know, hey, here's an item you want to buy on a website. You can look at it.
What are the projected impacts on bandwidth for these, on bits per second on these guys?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
They need Pied Piper compression.
I caught up on that right away.
Speaking of plugs, I have to find a plug because my laptop just told me it's going to stop.
Okay, we're gonna mute
Speaking
you
of wireless charging, right?
while you do that. Speaking of wireless charging. Oh man, yeah, didn't that ended right? That was the season finale, Silicon Valley.
Was it 6 that was the last episode, or 7?
Let me check my series guide.
Yeah, a lot of the shows, particularly the pilot shows, they'll have 6 pilot episodes, and if they get enough buzz towards it and they think they can produce the rest, then they'll do that. So it's a lot of times you'll have like an entire season with 11 or 12 episodes, and then like a series break or season break, and then it'll continue with another 11 or 12. They do the same thing with smaller, you know, first seasons where you have 6 up front, and if they it gets enough buzz, then they'll produce the rest. So
This one had
a little break. 8.
Had 8? Okay.
Right.
So well, I'm not caught up. I need one more then.
3 days ago.
You know, I don't watch it, but I have a lot of people at work that watch that.
It was
you know,
so good.
that watch it.
It's,
So
it's pretty comical.
I hope it keeps going for sure.
It caught me by surprise. I didn't think it'd be as funny as it is.
Yes. All right. So Amazon 3D phone. Larry, do you have any thoughts on that or this wireless crap?
Well, I'm with. If you know, I would love to see things better at a given price point. Better no wires than wires. And the 3D phone sounds like a stupid idea, and like I say, the number of bits, the bandwidth that it's going to soak up, sounds like something that Verizon would love. AT&T would think it's a great idea, but I don't know if anybody else would.
I swear you two have been some negative, pessimistic Nancy's tonight. Jeez, don't like nothing.
I hate wires.
I like all sorts of stuff. I just don't want more gimmicky crap. I'm pretty sure we have enough crap.
You know, you guys are talking about wireless charging. You know this guy Artemis Networks, Steve somebody? Have you guys seen the stuff he's been talking about with, you know, extremely highly focused wireless systems? Does this ring a bell with anybody?
No, it sounds interesting though. Okay. What is it?
Yeah, but he's talking about extremely highly focused wireless data transmission, you know, which has incredibly high payoffs. But he also hints that that might be used for power transmission, for wireless power transmission. I'm too dumb to talk about it right now, but I'll get something up for next week.
So they're calling it pCell technology from their site?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, pCells. Does this demo, you can watch this video, terrible demo. But at the very end of one of his papers, they filed a couple of patents also on not just wireless data transmission, but wireless power transmission. And it's kind of an interesting. I'll dig up something and do a post on it for next week.
Oh, I see. So he's talking about if you go to artemis.com/pcell, you get to a page and it shows cells, and actually here I'll share this. Hold on. This. So many buttons. We're gonna do this here. Okay, so we have cells right here. Okay, and then we have pCells, and they say that the way they transmit, right, that the cells, they will avoid interfering with each other, right? So that gives you these large cells, 50 meters, 5 kilometers in size. So with pCells, he says that interference like creates more pCells, right? So you're actually using that interference deliberately to strengthen your signal, which is kind of cool if it works, right?
He does video. I've seen videos of talks that he gives, and it looks really spectacular. There's also a bunch of unanswered questions like distances and the number of transmitters that you have to have around. But
yeah,
he does really spectacular data transmission demos. But if he has also applied for patents to use this as a power transmission mechanism. And so you can think of charging, at great remote distances, charging your whatever needs to be charged.
If you can do that without frying my body,
your brain,
awesome.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm down. I am so down.
Oh shit! We missed the battery, but we got him in the eye.
Right? Just don't hold it to your head. These ones actually might cause cancer. No, but that's pretty cool. If they can definitely work it out, like it sounds really awesome, right?
Yes. I'll dig up something for next week.
Yeah,
links to video or something. His video demo is pretty impressive.
That's cool. We'll have to look more into it, and then we'll report back once we know stuff. So let's see what else. You guys want to talk about this, and then we got to wrap this up. But Comcast, speaking of. Is this doing good? Planning to encrypt email exchanged with Gmail. Or is this just taking something that's already happening because they know most of their users are using Gmail and being like, oh yeah, Gmail's encrypting. Yeah, hey, we're doing that too because your privacy, we care about it.
Does anybody trust Comcast anyway?
No.
All right, so.
Wait, was that a retort? Oh, I see what you did there. I see what you did.
Just because Comcast of all people says it's encrypted, I don't think anybody's going to give a rat's ass.
Is it going to be open source? Can we check your work? But it says so. This isn't what I thought it was. It actually says that they're going to encrypt email exchange between their servers, not just oh yeah, your Gmail, it's encrypted anyway. But if it's going on Comcast servers to Gmail, it will be encrypted. Which, that kind of means that, and maybe I'm wrong, but that it means that they need to be using what Gmail is using, right, to make that encryption tunnel work.
I don't know if you guys can hear me.
So if Gmail's is working, I would assume theirs is working, but I wouldn't assume... What?
No, you're good.
Okay. But I wouldn't assume that Comcast to Yahoo or Comcast to any other provider that I didn't know had their encryption on lock, then I wouldn't trust them. Because you see, you're relying on them, right? Not Comcast.
Now you did break up, Matt. I heard not Comcast.
Okay. Well, whatever. Talk about it.
I'm sorry. No, when I first read this, I was thinking, did they not have this already from end to end on the Comcast side of thing? And if not, why? This is only been around. This has only been around for a decade or so. So, what's taking them so long to get this in place? Money? Come on, you had the money. It's bull.
Would you trust them, Larry?
Oh, well, now we lost Larry.
We lose Larry. All right. Well, Ant, I wouldn't trust him either. So screw it. They says it's not clear, however, whether email sent to and from Comcast will be encrypted, and to be fair, how much email is actually sent from Comcast domains. So, who knows? Good story, though.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if how much more Comcast news we're going to get over the next weeks. Their PR department's probably just loving all of this press.
But it's an amazing testament to like what being a big mass like them can do. Like you can have the worst rating on everything you do and still be just raking in the bucks, right?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's
Time
wrap this thing up. I think they're killing our bits, so we're just gonna wrap it up here while we still can.
No doubt.
Ant, you got point and shoot tomorrow. What are you guys talking about? What are you guys doing?
The contest for this week has been focused on finding faces in objects. You know, I want to say yours.
Faces.
Yeah, yours is one of the popular ones out there.
It's so cute. How can it not be?
That's so sad. It's cute.
I know, it's weird. It's just a thing from Dish. Like to put your Dish mountain turned sideways.
That's the beauty of it. It's random things like that that gets play. Now,
yeah. We saw that when we first moved in. I was like, whoa, if you tilt your head, it's totally a smiley face. It's pareidolia, right? Seeing faces in things. That's
exactly.
There's a Twitter account, Faces in Things. That's awesome because people all send stuff, and it's just a bunch of that kind of thing. It's pretty great.
And also, I'm doing daily videos that's doing like a highlight from the smartphone photographers community. So check that out. It's supposed to be on a new domain and a new domain TV, but it depends on how fast it goes through editing and whatnot. I'm just going to make sure I do it on my YouTube channel at the very least every day. So just subscribe.
And your smartphone site.
Yep. And the smartphone site.
Smartphone-photographers.com. There you go. All right. Well, thanks for listening, guys. YetAnotherTechShow.com. We're on Stitcher. If you listen in iTunes, give us a rating and review. We appreciate that. Subscribe to the show in YouTube. You know, like all that stuff that bumps algorithms to say, hey, you should check this out. Appreciate it. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you guys next week. Have a great night.
See you, everyone.